Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. The S&P 500 has hit a new all-time high, okay? 607, 606 was pinned in my mind, right? And I knew it was going to come sooner or later. And that is one of the reasons why I bought right here. I bought right here. I bought right here. I bought again right here, okay? I bought around here so I can receive these profits all the way down here, okay? I always have a nice diversified portfolio, but you have to realize ETFs, long-term investments are slightly different from short, riskier investments, okay? I like to do a bit of both. I like to do some NVIDIA, right? Another good long-term, another good a year or two investment to have in your portfolio. I like to do something like dividend stock, like reality income. But since I'm a younger guy, right, I can do riskier investments like AMC and GameStop, right? I can do some of these, which if you hit big, you hit big, okay? But they do require a bigger risk management portfolio, and just having more money to work with. The more money you can throw down in a riskier stock, the more money you can get back. And that's why I'm going to start transitioning to crypto, but let's focus on the S&P 500 and slowly talk about AMD, okay? First things first, okay? I'm going to start from the bottom of this presentation because I want you guys to realize that understanding risk tolerance is a major key to investing. Whether you are a young investor, whether you're an investor who is looking into invest money, but you don't know what to do yet. Okay, let's say you have $1,000. You need to still understand your risk tolerance. A lot of people say when a stock is falling down, like AMD, it's a falling knife. All right, it's something that you don't want to catch a falling knife because it's going to hurt you, and you don't want to get in the mix of that. But look at this, down about 35%, 29%. Why have I been buying the stock? Well, I believe it's a fair value of $155 to $160. Okay, the only reason I think it's 180, 185 is not really a good value for the stock because I've did intrinsic value calculations on this. I've looked at several videos of several operating margin statistics for this video, and I've did technical analysis. So I've did the dirty work, okay? And the fair value for this stock, according to me and research, is at least 155, okay? Now, the buying power will drive the stock above 160. You guys need to realize stocks on CashApp, stocks on Robinhood, stocks on Webull, why are they sometimes quote unquote overvalued? Well, people who don't do their research, or people who think a stock is worth more than what it is, they buy the stock more and more and more. So that causes the stock to go up, okay? Now, when you do this, right, you're instantly going to make money, but once people start realizing that the actual value of the stock is not $200, you're going to see a lot of sell-offs, and the stock is slowly going to come down and start plummeting, okay? Now, people are going to still buy, but they're going to buy and sell around the time frame where they feel like the stock is at a fair value, which is 155 to 160 for AMD. Okay, now realize keeping your money safe, quote unquote safe, okay, in some high yield savings account or ETF is key. Okay, if you got $3,000, you don't want to just invest $3,000 in one company. That's just fundamentals of investing. Okay, now the S&P 500 will come back under $590. I believe that very surely. Okay, we have a lot of things rallying up. If you see NVIDIA all the way up weekly over 8%, you're going to see the S&P 500 up. The NVIDIA stock is in the S&P 500, and it plays a major role in the S&P 500. That is one of the reasons why it's up. It tracks some of these big companies. Okay, so what happens when these companies come down? Well, the S&P 500 automatically is going to come down. If you guys look at January 13th, we were at $577, okay? Go back and look at January 13th where NVIDIA was. NVIDIA was at $131. So one of the big movers of the S&P 500 is NVIDIA. So when NVIDIA goes down, Apple goes down, Microsoft goes down, some of these big tech giants go down, what is the S&P 500 going to do? It's going to go down, okay? This is just basics. It's fundamentals that you have to learn before investing, okay? So when you see this big move up, don't invest as of right now. I wouldn't invest, okay? If you do something like a weekly investment, which is like $10 every Monday, okay, for 365 days, every Monday you're gonna do $10. If you do something like that, don't worry too much about buying low. But what I do is I like to always buy low. I never buy when the stock is above a certain price. So if I see it's going up at above a certain price, I will never ever buy. What I will do is, though, I will set my order, and I want to buy if it comes back down to 583. Now, if 583 is not an option and I see it's at 588, I will cancel this, put $20 at 588. Okay. Now, what you guys need to realize is AMD will make some major moves hoping on February 4th. Okay, the stock came down from 141 from the start of December to 120 at the end of December. Realize this. Okay, so if I go to AMD right now, you will see that at the start of December, okay, let's go about December 2nd, okay, 2nd or 1st, 142.06. Okay, if you're a regular investor in AI chips, right, you would expect the stock to take a nice dip, right? You buy here, but you wouldn't expect this move to keep plummeting down to $116. Okay, that's one of the big dips on AMD I've seen. I caught it around 118 before. I didn't buy, but I bought it around 123, right? But currently, it's down 31% yearly. But why is that? Okay, you guys need to understand, why was there a sell-off in AMD? Well, AMD had an earnings report on October 31st, and the earnings report is part of why a lot of people sold their investment on AMD. If you look at NVIDIA at a buying opportunity and you see AMD falling because of earning report expectations, you would sell off and buy NVIDIA. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, you got two pairs of shoes that two pairs of shoes that are doing really good in the market, and a lot of kids in high school, middle schools are wearing a certain type of brand. Okay, that brand could be New Balances, and the other brand could be Reeboks. Okay, so the more you see people attractive toward one brand, right, the more demand for that product is going to be in the shoe market. Same with AI chips. The more demand right now is not for AMD, it's for NVIDIA. So people around here, when the stock came down around January to 133, what they did was around December is they probably sold NVIDIA and saw, oh, okay, well, AMD is going down, but NVIDIA is a better competitor. So they probably sold their AMD and took all of that, invested into NVIDIA. That's something I would have did. If I owned AMD in the middle of 2024, what I would have did if I see the company did not pass the expectations of earnings, I would have sold all of that and invested into NVIDIA, and today is the day I would have been reaping my profits. Okay, so that is one of the major techniques a lot of investors use. Okay, they already have their plan, their backup plan ready. These two competitors are going head to head. I've invested my money in both of these equally. If I see one is doing a lot better than the other, for example, NVIDIA is doing way better than AMD, I'm going to want to invest in AMD. Okay, but I like to kind of give it time. Okay, AMD might even come as low to 105, but I'm gonna give it time. I'm gonna buy even more, because I always know there's always buying power, and people do options and puts, and that could always drive the price up to 135, 140. And if I see that, I might sell right there. But we really have to pinpoint February 4th. Okay, about 10 days. Okay, we have to wait for earnings report. They have another earnings report coming out. If they perform, if they show up, it's game day. Okay, if they show up and perform, buying power comes in place and the stock goes up. Now, you guys need to understand, when the stock runs up, when AMD runs up to 130, 135, what levels do you want to take your profits at? If you want to take your profit and get out, do that. Okay, my average cost per share in AMD, it shouldn't be compared to somebody's average cost in AMD, because they probably have a total different side of investment in AMD. Somebody probably is going long in AMD. Somebody probably wants to do investment for 2 years or 3 years in AMD. Okay, so what should they do if the stock goes down? They should be buying. They should be buying because they believe it's a good long-term investment. Okay, now for me, I just want a quick flip on AMD. I want a month, 2 month, 3 month investment in AMD. I want to take those profits, split it between my S&P 500, split it between my NVIDIA, and I want to play that type of game. Okay, so what will I do after earnings? Well, that depends on you. So what you do need to know is February 4th is when earnings report come out. Now, what is earnings report? It's basically a report on how financials are for a company. Okay, are they doing good in profits? Are they spending more than they're earning? Okay, if I'm making $5 per product I'm selling and I'm spending $10 on expenses, I'm spending more than I'm earning. So that's not a good sign. That's why earnings report is so effective. It's so helpful for investors to understand what is the next big thing in the market. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Watch out for AMD, and congratulations if you're making profit on the S&P 500 and you've been buying at those low levels like I've been calling out. But thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Stay patient. If you haven't gotten your chance to get into a ETF or stock, the dips will come. We have a full 11 to 10 months ahead of us. All right, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe.